Why does Tinkaton hate Corviknight? Tinkaton has been the talk of the town lately, being one of Gen 9's newest and most popular Pokemon, but also because it has a strange dex entry with Corviknight. As we all know in the Galar region, Corviknight was used to fly us around everywhere because of the Corviknight taxi. However, in Paldea, Corviknight is unable to do so because of its natural predators in this region. Its Scarlet dex entry states that Corviknight can serve as a taxi service in Paldea because the Pokemon's natural predators will attack while it flies, endangering the customer. And these natural predators that's referring to, believe it or not, are none other than Tinkaton. Because Tinkaton's Scarlet dex entry states that this intelligent Pokemon has a very daring disposition. It knocks rocks into the sky with its hammer, aiming for flying Corviknight. Now many people wonder, what's going on here? Why on earth does Tinkaton hate and want to destroy Corviknight out of all Pokemon? And why doesn't it take down any other flying type Pokemon that flies in Paldea? After all, Corviknight can't run its taxi service anymore, so a bunch of Squawk ability have to be the ones to do it. But they seem safe. And why are Tinkaton Corviknight's natural predators? Do they eat them? Rookidee and Corvisquire seem safe, but it's clear that in some way Tinkaton are trying to take down Corviknight for their benefit. Initially, I looked into Tinkaton's origins of being based off a dwarf or a gnome, and of course being based off a blacksmith, and Corviknight being based off a raven or a crow. And to be honest, I couldn't find much there. The best I found was this old German illustration where this blacksmith looked like it was going to smash the raven down with a hammer. But that might be a stretch of a choice of inspiration for this predator and prey relationship. And then after some time, it hit me. Just like how Tinkaton's hammer must have hit Corviknight's head. The answer to this is much more simple than we think. And the answer's from the same place where we got our first questions, the Pokedex. But the answer doesn't really come from Corviknight or Tinkaton's dex entry, but rather the latter's pre-evolutions, Tinkatink and mainly Tinkatuff. Let's start off with Tinkatink here. Both of its dex entries state that Tinkatink actually makes its hammer. It's not something that the Pokemon is born with. Even if a Tinkatink egg is holding its hammer, in the actual Pokemon world, this Pokemon makes its hammer over and over again. Even if Pokemon that eat metal take the hammer away, it will constantly take iron scraps to make a hammer until it is satisfied with the result. This, paired along with Tinkatuff's dex entry, is what gives us our answer. Tinkatuff's dex entries state that Tinkatuff will actually go out and attack groups of Pawniard and Bisharp to steal metal from them in order to create a large and sturdy hammer. And with any scrap metal that they have, they'll use that to build their homes. So, Tinkaton makes a hammer from whatever metal it can find, and Tinkatuff goes and raids Pawniard and Bisharp to get some upgraded Pawniard and Bisharp metal, absolutely bodies them, and essentially unalives them to strip them of their bodies to upgrade their own hammers. And on top of that, this Pokemon uses any kind of scrap metal it has to build its own home. So, you know what? It's no surprise that Tinkaton is out to get Corviknight, because this Pokemon is ruthless. It's not just out to get Corviknight, it's out to get all of them and use their steel body parts just because they want to build a better hammer. A steel type's natural predator isn't any fire, ground, or fighting type. It's one of their own, Tinkaton. This cute dandy little pink Pokemon is the most ruthless predator I know. At least all of the other predators in the Pokemon world look their part. This one is just deceiving. So yes, Tinkaton is not only after Corviknight, but it seems to be pretty much after any and all Steel-type Pokemon. Corviknight is probably only specifically mentioned because they needed a way to retcon the Corviknight taxi service in Paldea, and give another Gen 9 bird a chance to shine. And also because it's the only Steel and Flying type, so it would have made for a cool dex entry for the both of them. Hey, if Skarmory were here, I'm sure that Tinkaton would take it down as well, and use his body parts to build things too. But right now, it's only Corviknight, which is why so many of them are probably down at Area 0, because they can fly there in peace, away from Tinkaton. So yes, that's all there is to it. The answer is much more simple than we're expecting, and it's simply that Tinkaton and its whole family is just a menace to the Steel-type society. It has no personal grudge against Corviknight itself, it's just hungry to get any little scrap of metal that it can get its little hands on. And the irony of this is, in every way, Corviknight should not be able to go down to Tinkaton, purely from a game standpoint, but somehow it still does. I really don't know how Poppy does it, having this as their ace Pokemon and then a full team of Steel types with Corviknight as well on top of that, but somehow she's got it to work. So maybe, just maybe, Tinkaton isn't all too menacing. Who am I kidding? This thing is evil! Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Take care of yourselves, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all over on the next video, alright? Later. Here are 25 facts on Paradox Pokemon.